Hello and welcome back to my video. So for this part, we are just going to be concatenating both of the data sets, which are the GITS word notice data sets and KID product categories data set. And we will be using join operation. So let's start off with importing the libraries, and then we will be using the files. We'll be importing it here, and you can just drag and drop or select the files. And then next, we're just looking at what sort of columns we have and the data structure. We are already familiar with this. We have explored it in the previous videos, so we can just skim through it. Our first objective for the gets product categories, we will be cleaning the UNSPC classification, as we have some none values. And then next we will be changing from float 64 to integer 64, just to get rid of that 0 point, the point operation. So we are going to first, let's get started. Let's Here we have just doing the before cleaning. So here it is, it's in float 64. We also have missing values of 800, and here's how it looks. And yeah, here's a sample. So what we did is that we dropped 801 rows. I mean, these are just missing rows. It's hard to trace. And then we also used here's the remaining, and then here we just changed it to integer 64. Now moving on to the preview, we can see that it's nice and pretty, nice and organized. It's a nice format. Now moving on to the GITS award notices. Here our to-dos is quite simple. We just want to fix the RFx ID, and then we also to change it to from float 64 to integer 64. And also this ensures the joint key consistent across both data sets. And then here we go, it's before it's float, and we also have 71 missing values. And here we just drop the missing values as mentioned in EDA 1, and we just change the format to float as integer 64, and we don't have any missing values. Here's a preview. Bear in mind that we will just be using some of the columns as we explored in the EDA. For this side of we'll be just using the title and the overview, as we will be using the overview later on in the future video to enrich the title for our text embedding. Now moving on to the merging the data sets, we are using inner join and use on the RFX ID. And okay, so it's a very simple operation, and then it's a one-to-many expansion. So we will, meaning that we will end up with more unique. No, we will end up with more rows. And yeah, so once we merge the data set, we have these overview. We have a lot of columns. As you can see, we also have repeated columns, which is the report date and report date Y. These are coming from both of the data sets. Here's the report date, here's the report date, and then the other report date is being pulled as well. So like here, so I don't really need the dates. I don't really need a lot of these, and partly because they have a lot of missing values. Like here, 73% of them is missing. For example, for this alternative physical tender, perhaps we can use it to increase the accuracy, but for the purpose of just playing around with text embedding, vector search model, I want to keep it simple, just as a proof of concept. So for the categories per tender, we just did a simple thing, but I just want to point out that it's we have one category per tender is quite high. So perhaps if we use certain algorithms, perhaps we will have a bias. For example, if we were to select the most common output, then it will always show the 10,000. So moving on to our relevant text embedding. So here I just selected the columns that I will be using, which are the title, and that will be the user's input. So if the user inputs integrated risk management or ACC AI chatbot or whatever, then the model should expect to give the UNSPC classification, and also the UNSP description. So these are more of the, we will train it. And for the training, I will be using the overview with the title. I just want to add more. I just want to enrich the model so that it's easier for it to find the vector search. So just add as much information for example, this classification number, just to add more text and sentiment. So once we are done with this, we are just going to save the DF model here, and you will be able to download it. So that is about it for this section. Let's look forward to see you in the next section. Bye.